You muted, good brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, good people, we back at it one time. The R2BB podcast show. My main man, AJ Throwback, and yours truly, Ray getting your people. You dig? So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we doing it. Whole town lit. We got a special guest tonight, Miss Lori Love in the building. One time.
Hey.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we have been having just a ball with this whole R2BB movement, you know, from the recording in the studios to the fellowshipping to the networking to all the different shows and things that's been popping out. The whole town been lit, like legit lit all around. So, yeah, man, we are honored to have Miss Lori Love, who was the first person that kicked it off on part one. If y'all didn't catch that, y'all need to subscribe, hit that bell, you know what I mean, and go back and watch that video because that thing is smoking. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, we just getting warmed up, you know, unraveling all the wonderful things that we've had in store for y'all the whole time while we around. You dig? So without further ado, brother AJ, what we got for you, man? Talk to us.
Yeah, man. You know, we got Lori Love and Miss Lori Love. Let's set that straight.
Get it right.
Put some respect on the name. You know what I'm saying? Not respect. Respect on the name. You
know. Yeah, how everybody doing?
Doing wonderful. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to get my nerves together and everything, but I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain.
That's
it's an honor to be here. Let me say that.
Yeah.
I was looking at, you know, while I was going live, I was looking at the flyer and how everything posted up. I feel kind of proud saying that. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you definitely deserve it, man. Like,
exactly.
Girl, you know, put in work in this town and beyond. You did. You know,
I appreciate it.
And you come from historical legacy.
Yes.
Real talk. We're going to get into that in a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Man, don't even sleep. There's so many angles.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So, while we in this situation here, talk to us about, you know, how Miss Lori Love got started in the game. You know what I mean? Share some things with us about just, you know how you express yourself and how, you know, you're being influenced by the culture here specifically, you know, by Black Broadway and about in the DC and the DB area period, you know, how it shaped you as an artist, you know, where you feel like your contribution even fits in and all of it.
Okay. Well, since you said Black Broadway, let me go there first because I think it was still kind of like in the Black Broadway type of scene, like the early 90s before everything started really gentrifying and stuff. And that's what Coffee House, Kilimanjaro, whatever. It was a lot of spots. I was a little homie, but I was still getting to the spots. So, and it was just, I don't know, that whole U Street, that whole area was just like the Chocolate City, you know, it was, that's a different era, the whole Chocolate City. And I used to love it. But anyway, I got into music and expressing myself the way I do at a very young age. Like you mentioned before, I don't really like doing it, but like I'm the daughter of a legend. Let me just say it like that. Big Tony, firstborn. And growing up in that environment, always been surrounded by music. My mom actually sings as well. I don't think she ever did it professionally, but she can carry a nice tune and everything like that. I didn't really get into writing and stuff until I got, to further along in elementary school, like 5th, 6th grade. But the first thing that sparked me, my interest in wanting to actually try to rap or be an artist was when I saw Queen Latifah, Ladies First. It was just something about how she carried herself, what she was saying. She was bringing something positive. And to be honest, back then, it wasn't really too many raunchy style female artists and nothing like that. But it was just something about her. I was just like, ooh, like, okay. So I always had something in me as far as wanting to write. But at that point in my life, I didn't really know. You know, I didn't really know what it was or how to go about doing it. Fast forwarded a little bit, it wasn't until my grandmother, I came home from school one day and I had wrote a poem when I was in school, and my grandmother told me to never stop writing. She actually told me to go to college and become a journalist. And I wish I would have listened to her, but but
it ain't never too late.
Yeah, of course not. No, you're absolutely right.
And
but,
on top of that, what I was gonna say, you are a journalist, you know, just in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Because I do be trying to deliver them messages.
Right.
But, you definitely deliver them, that's for sure.
That's right.
But yeah, just seeing artists like Queen Latifah and Salt-N-Pepa, and again, just, you know, being around that music, watching my dad put a beat together from scratch and then letting us mess around with some of the equipment, you know, it was just, you know, it was one of them things, you know, I always had a love for music, always had a love music and food. And believe it or not, basketball. I played basketball.
Huh? Because we found out you can hoop.
Yeah. So I was in middle school, and I was so good. They wanted me to start varsity as a freshman. But of course, if you know some of my story, you know, I actually say it in the verse. I was a young mom, so that kind of killed them dreams of playing ball, because I was 13 actually when I got pregnant, and then had my twins at 14. So that kind of altered the whole basketball dream thing. But you know, it is what it is. Everything else. I actually had the opportunity to go. I went to a Job Corps and I played basketball there. And I actually ended up coaching a team while I was there too. So, you know, it all worked out.
Yeah. You know, that actually kind of sort of sparks a question for me, because it's like basketball and music, or sports and music period, but specifically like basketball and hip hop, they really go like hand in hand. You know what I mean? So like, how do you feel like your mentality when it comes to like how you approach basketball? Like, how do you feel like that kind of sort of guided you in terms of how you approach music?
It was about winning for the team. You know, my approach with basketball. To be honest, I can't even remember how I got into basketball. I don't know if it was my brother or what, but I know I was good. And I always wanted to do good for my team. I always wanted to. They used to call me crossover shorty and all. They gave me all types of But the problem was, and now that I'm older and a little wiser, I know why I had these problems. It was a whole bunch of underlying things going on. I used to foul out my games. I had a very bad temper. So I used to get technical fouls like it was nobody's business. I was, what they say, very insubordinate, and I just, you know. But yeah, so I was good. I had a bad temper. I'd be cussing the referees out, and I'd get kicked out the game and throw a little temper tantrum on the sideline and stuff like that. So, you know.
You were Charles Oakley with a crossover.
That's what it was. Charles Oakley, right?
That's sleepy.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm sorry.
Nah, go ahead. No, yeah.
I was just gonna say that I told you I talk a lot.
It's all good.
Actually, this is why you on here, girl. Tell us about you.
Right.
The twins played basketball for Wilson High School, and they was a shout out to the Tigers, and they actually was really good too. They won championships. Both of them played. One of them was into it more. I think Monet played 2 years, and Monique only played maybe 1 year. But they were really good too, and I got trophies downstairs from them and stuff.
That's awesome.
So it kind of all worked itself out, yeah.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, that's what's up. So like, you sharing all of what you experienced, some of your things you kind of got into from Black Broadway, and you talked about, you know, connection with Dad and Legend. Like, I would like to know, how did Go-Go in particular, being this is a live music town, and being that you know, the way even when we do hip hop, we have a whole different swag to how we do it, no matter what the flavor is of the artist. So how did for you, do you feel like that came together in your world, and how it influenced the way you do music? And then, you know, just share that.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get my hood card taken for what I'm about to say. But growing up, I did not really care too much for go-go. I don't know if it's because I was around it all the time or what. It wasn't really until I got to like middle school. It was okay. How can I put it? I like the stuff most people didn't like. I was like Huckabucks. I used to like their little songs.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I was a Junkyard fan too, but I couldn't really dance. I couldn't really dance to go-go. Reggae was my thing when I was younger. I loved me some daggone reggae when I was younger. You know, I didn't know what they was talking about, but I could dance. But no, go-go, one of the things I've always loved about the go-go culture and the music is the originality of it. You know, it was something that was ours. You know, we didn't, you know, it didn't come from down south. It didn't come from this. It didn't. Now we took elements. You know, we got the African drums and the pole percussion, and that's one of my favorite. Oh my goodness, man. T-Bone. I don't know if y'all familiar with T-Bone, Trouble's old Congo player.
Oh yeah.
One of the original members. Rock, T-Bone. You know, man, he used to smack them things, and I used to actually want to play congos. But no, I did love a lot of that element of go-go. The whole, how depending on how the pocket was or how they hit it, it would kind of give you like an African type vibe to it and things like that. The call and response. I remember being on Sales Place. You know, they have the outside go-go's and stuff like that on top of Howard Road. You know, it was. You know, I remember those things like that, and just, you know, hearing the bands telling the crowd to say, you know. So I remember those things growing up with go-go, but I didn't go to a go-go. My first go-go, I was an adult when I went to my first go-go.
Oh wow.
I never went to the go-go's, and with that being said, I was a young mom too, so I didn't really do a lot of what my peers was doing at the time. But even with, I don't think I probably would have, even if I didn't have the, you know, my kids at that age. That just wasn't my thing. I was a little nerd, y'all.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Not a little bit.
You know, look, be who you are. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
there's things that we all have, you know, in our own personal passion that we thrive off of. That's not everybody else's thing.
Right.
And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. Just like there's a thing they might have that's specific for them. So,
Right.
I mean, you know, the whole concept is, like you said, is about being original. It's about being fresh and new, and that's also on the whole point what Black Broadway was always about. Creativity, newness. That we in a Renaissance period right now, historically. Like as we are living in another Renaissance. And the Renaissance is a culmination of celebrating what has already been established, but then also looking forward to what the new thing is coming out of the expression that's now.
Right.
You know, so that all comes from being you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Your experiences really guide like how you approach music at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why, like, it's a beautiful thing that we have all of the different personalities on, you know, each song, specifically this song. I mean, there's so many different personalities just on this one song. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody has a different experience. Everybody has a different, slightly different DMV story, so to say, DC story. But there are a lot of similarities in there.
Yeah, I'm about to say it somehow still all come together, like.
Right. Exactly.
It's like basically everybody's telling the same story from different lenses.
Right.
Yeah. You know, so, you know, literally we all are living the same story, but just with a slightly different perspective on what was the narrative and outcome of you were experiencing plugged into.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. I was actually listening to one of Clever Thoughts songs the other day. I can't remember which one it was, but I heard something in her lyric when she mentioned something from Baltimore County. I think it was something, but when I heard it, I don't remember everything verbatim what she said, but it was pretty much a tough time for her. And I was like, wow, I need to, link up with her and talk to her. When a lot of my hardships or things that I went through as a child happened when I was living in Baltimore too. So it was, when I heard that, I was like, wow, you'd be surprised, you just be surprised. And like you said, how we all from the same, we have pretty much the same story or similar stories, but just little tweaks here and there, because we all different, of course, but
yeah.
Be surprised.
Yeah. Absolutely. I definitely wanted to, before we continue, I definitely wanted to make sure we show some love. Good brother, the missus is on to check in on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Showing some love.
Hi, Jenny Jen.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. Had to make sure we show some love to Mrs. Gatlin.
I see her right here.
Yes. And also speaking of Mrs. Gatlin, the Gatlings celebrating their anniversary recently. So happy anniversary to y'all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Once again. Yes.
Indeed. I'm sorry. I ain't seen her in a while. I'm over here in the YouTube. Look, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she definitely showing some love in the comments, you know what I'm saying? So yes indeed. And shout out to Loving the Kitchen 202 on the check-in as well. Definitely oh, that's you. Okay. I couldn't quite see the picture on there, you know what I'm saying? So
that's me.
okay, all right, Bones. You in the comments and you on the broadcast. We love it. We love it.
Yes, so this is new to me, so
it's all good. It's all good.
No,
it's cool. It it blows up the comments even more. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So we definitely appreciate it. Okay. That means you being interactive. We need that.
Yes.
So yeah. So did you have something you want to say, bro?
Yeah. So I was just gonna say so talk to us about like the progression of how your art developed when you became an adult, like when you were able to kind of stretch out a little bit more and start really getting into your own.
Okay, it started out with poetry. I love writing. I love writing more than I actually love MCing. I don't like saying rapping, whatever. I love to write. I've always been a writer at heart. So it started out with poetry. I used to do poetry at my church. I used to visit other churches when I was younger. And then my sister and I kind of fast forward a little bit. My sister and I, when we were younger, we had a duo called Sugar and Spice. And we made one song that my dad produced for us called The Beat. And it was a pretty dope song. And I think that kind of really got me more into MCing or rapping or whatever. I used to write, and then I'll show my father, or I'll spit it for him, and then he used to say I got too many cuss words and this and that. But one thing he told me that stuck with me, he was like, you got to think about radio play. If you're saying this, you're saying that, that's not gonna play on the radio, and that kind of altered my writing altogether. So because I didn't really want to cuss anyway. I just was, doing what I hear, the other songs that I listen to and stuff like that. So fast forward back to me as a young adult. I used to freestyle around Elvisboro. We used to have little ciphers everywhere on Instagram. He's like, come outside, say this, do something for them, freestyle. They used to always give me the freestyle. I went to Prince George's Community College for a short period of time. Used to be up in Jumanji Lounge, having the ciphers up in there. So that was my thing initially. I used to freestyle all the time. I used to freestyle when I actually first started rapping and stuff. But as an adult, being a young mother really made me the artist that created. How can I put it? I didn't want to rap. I could easily been a superstar by now, and if I was rapping about this and that and some of the other things the female artists rap about. But I had two little girls, you know, so I felt, and not just my daughters, because even before then, I saw what was going on, and I saw this and I saw that. Tupac was my favorite. Of course, a lot of probably MCs from my era probably say that, but I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to have to talk about my body. I didn't want to have to look a certain way and this, and that. So I decided to tell stories by my personal experiences. Whatever's anything inspirational that I can do, because that's what I was already doing with my poems. So I was, good with doing that. I always just wanted to try my best, to bring light and positivity through my music. Like I said, I've done features and I could do other things, but I didn't want that to be my main thing. I wanted to show other little girls, saying that you can do it, you can still keep your body covered up, and you ain't got to talk about how good this is or how you did that or did that. So, that's pretty much the lane I wanted to stay in as an artist.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. And that actually, before I get to the question, that's kind of a follow-up to pretty much everything you said, because you actually answered a question that I had in my head before I asked it. So you already on point, what I'm saying? But there's another aspect of that I kind of sort of want to follow up on. But before we get there, a couple of comments from folks. The Mrs. Gatlin said, Lori, not just a bomb lyricist, you got to check out her cakes. And we definitely going to touch on that. And then, sister. And then shout out to OG the Queen on the check-in on YouTube, showing some love. Definitely appreciate you tapping in. Yes, indeed. So the part of my question that you answered was like filling a void. A lot of times, like we as artists, those of us who really recognize ourselves as artists, when we get into the game and we start to evolve and we start to find our voice, part of that is realizing the voids we feel or fulfilling something we don't see enough of, what I'm saying? And you kind of sort of answered that. But to kind of follow up on that and connecting it to this whole Return to Black Broadway movement, one of the things that I know for myself, like I've seen plenty of men who really kind of sort of dominate the spaces that are like prevalent and we know of. And then it's not to say that there aren't women in that space, but I just feel like there haven't been enough. And that's even like, if you really think about hip hop, the landscape of hip hop period, I don't feel like women are represented enough. You know what I'm saying? So for you as a woman in hip hop and as a woman specifically in the DC hip hop scene, like how important is it for specifically you to kind of sort of shine your light for not only yourself, but for the other women, MCs, writers, poets, however you want to, term it in terms of the creatives?
Okay, it is important to me. It's very important to me. However, I feel like over the years, I've got kind of lost in the sauce, so to speak. I don't know if you AJ know my history as far as an artist or whatever. I came around in 2013. I started out doing spoken word poetry. And then I linked up with How We Do Little. We've been friends since forever with HMG. And things was going pretty good with that and everything. For my reasons, I decided to leave HMG. And then I, got with Body of Evidence, man. That was where I was at after HMG and everything went good. Then life just started happening. I just got this whole digital stuff. It was just a lot for me. And I just find myself conforming to ways that I said doing things and saying things that I said I wasn't going to do as an artist. So I kind of fell back a little bit. I guess in a sense, trying to find my voice again. It is very important when I do get a chance to shine my light that I do just that and do it bright enough for others to see and gravitate to. But I don't really feel like I've been doing my due part, for female to represent those type of female artists in this area specifically, because I don't know, it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, getting into this game. I thought it was gonna be something like, okay, somebody will see what I'm capable of doing, and I wasn't looking for no handouts or nothing like that. I just didn't know how the game works. Somebody will see what I'm capable of doing, and they will want to work with me. I didn't come in this game with no budget for this and no budget for that. So I learned all these different. I just want to get my words out. I just want to say what I got to say, and in a positive way, and like I'm not green to it. Like I know it's a business on top of that, but it was just a lot for me. It was just a lot for me. But I will say that I have noticed other artists, like I mentioned before, like Clever Thoughts, who's representing very hard for that particular lane, so to speak, of a female artist with a voice and some substance, who's not really just out here talking about P-popping and this and that and other things like that, really. And yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I went over your question or not, but
Nah, I mean, oh, go ahead, bro, because I think you still muted.
Nah, go ahead, brother.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think what you said was very important because I think that's probably what a lot of people go through. But I also think it's a little bit different for women, like getting in the game and things not necessarily being exactly what you expect or what you might, I won't even say expect, but what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times, like, we all come into the game with a certain understanding that it is a business. But then there are other things that it's like, okay, like I wasn't expecting that curveball. I wasn't expecting that okie doke right there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah. I mean, and then the whole life happening thing, that was really powerful.
So around the time before I even became an artist, I was online promoting. Like I love promoting people. I love sharing other people, especially if it's something that's going to contribute to our culture and our community and not bring it down or take away from it. So that was my thing. I used to promote other artists. I was promoting, helping bands, promote their bands and stuff like that. So I'm saying that to say, once I really tried to start getting in on the scene, that's when one of my twins got pregnant. And I ran it. She was, her last year of high school and everything like that. But I took that person. I felt like because I wasn't as focused on them as I normally would be, and I wasn't at home, at that time, like she was 17, she was 14 like me, at least she was 17, but I just felt like had I not stepped on the scene and then I would have been home more and maybe that would not, what I'm saying? So when I say life happens, those are the type of things that kind of brought me back in my shell a little bit and stuff like that. And then even after my granddaughter was born, I stuck around. I think I was with the band and everything like that. But you said something about being a woman and coming in. When I left HMG, shout out to Howie and the whole fam. That was one of my problems. I felt like he was paying more attention to the guys on the roster or on the team than the other female artists that was on the team. I don't know, because maybe they had a budget and I ain't gonna say they didn't. I know I didn't. I don't know what it was, but I just felt like more attention was being given to them versus the female artists that was a part of the team.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I also want to say, to the whole point of the strength of why I think Miss Lori Love is not only just a dope artist but a dope person, is that she chose her family over her own personal desire to be seen as an artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why you're first on the whole R2BB song.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that.
Because you know how to birth out purpose. Hear me?
Yes,
you know how to birth out purpose, so you had to be first. because you're a mama, and it's like,
Yeah.
come on, baby, let's come together and go ahead and do something real quick. Y'all listen.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the song was just,
Yeah. Baby's grown now, so but then it's like I feel like I'm getting old like that. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. Sometimes I feel like I miss my I wanna say mark with my era. So like the mid '90s, late '90s, when I really was on fire and had all this, I was on my sister soldier. I had all this up in me. I felt like that was the time for me, but I was still a little homie. I feel like now there's not really too many people checking for. Just for example, the Queen Rhapsody, she is so dope, but I don't feel like she gets that notoriety like she should, that attention, that airplay. They might have had one or two of her songs, that I may have heard on the radio a few times, but I don't feel like, and not to say that she's not getting, doing her own thing that I don't see or know about. I just feel like if that who was that guy that came around a couple of years ago, signed that 360 deal? He got something James. They had that crazy. If people,
Trinidad James.
Like, what's his name?
Talking about Trinidad James?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was going on for a minute. She came out with her joint. Nice track. And then, it got a couple of weeks in, but then you don't hear it no more.
Right.
That was just an example for me to use. Like, even when there are dope female artists that come out, and I ain't talking about, and I'm not taking away from nobody. I'm not a hater by far. I listen to Meg. To be honest, if I hadn't had no kids, that's probably the type of artist I would be. Like Megan, she, I'm just saying.
Keep it real, keep it real.
But artists like Rhapsody, and unfortunately, I can't think of anybody else right now who may be doing the same thing she's doing mainstream that I could mention as well. But you don't get to hear them over and over. But you'll hear Kendrick, you'll hear J. Cole, or other, conscious type art. You'll hear them all the time. But it's not, unless you're talking about how good your ish is or how many dudes you have, or whatever the case may be, you're not getting that type of, play on radio. Not even going to say radio, but just that type of attention.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate, but I think a lot of times, like especially now in this particular era, it might not necessarily be on a level where like getting the airplay, but I do look at it like when I think about Rhapsody, and I'm glad that you mentioned Rhapsody. Rhapsody was, even though I feel like she should have won for that album, when she came out with Layla's Wisdom, she did get nominated for a Grammy. So people paying attention, it just might not be to the level where it's like, because I mean, if you even think about, say, somebody like a J. Cole, I remember, I think it might have either been Forest Hills Drive or the album after Forest Hills Drive, but one of those albums right around that time, like, he didn't even have a song impacting radio, and this man still sold 1 million records. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think a lot of times it just matters, and I think we can kind of sort of say that even for ourselves as independent artists. It's just a matter of how hard our fans and our supporters really ride for us. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's part of the problem with the game. Like, as much as, we could always put it on like the radio, or like, because I mean, we can look even here in the DMV and see how like our artists period don't get enough support. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But a lot of times it's like, if we have a certain level of support and people support who they really want to be on radio, or who they really want to be in the front, then people got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's where, like, especially for women artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, really getting that support for the women, you know what I'm saying? Specifically the ones that are actually talking about something. You know what I mean? Like, I think when we get to that level, then we're going to see, and we're going to hear more Rhapsodies on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I also think a beautiful thing on that same subject about where we are right now as far as the Renaissance is that during the Renaissance, that's when there's always a resurgence of culture that has people thinking on a level and a frequency that goes beyond just the base level of everything a human being can be.
Mm-hmm.
Innovation is born from Renaissance.
Right. It's funny you say that because I be feeling sometimes like either can't say kids no more. Well, yeah, kids like the twins age and around 95 around that time they getting tired of the mumble rap and the music with no real good substance and stuff like that. So I feel like when you said that, you're right. Like this rebirth will introduce that to old generations and new generations because I don't know, these young is sharp. A lot of them are sharp.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the ones that's not too bright sometimes that get all the attention and stuff like that because of the dumb-ish stuff they do. But there's some sharp youngins out of here, and they're not going to want to keep hearing nonsense. For me, music means something different to everybody. To me, it's just I don't know. It's a universal language. It's a way to bring people together, like food. It's a way to bring people together. Even if you don't understand the words, you can feel the beat, you can feel the vibrations from the music. That's why I'm very careful, y'all. The very first time I heard bounce beat, I was so scared because it wasn't the go-go that I was used to, and where I was at then spiritually. So the first thing I thought was demonic. It sounded so demonic to me the first time I heard bounce beat. I don't know, because it was slow and I was just like, this is not go-go, what is this? But over the years, it has grown on me. To be honest, I think it was a 3G band that actually got me, being able to accept it a little bit more. And so once I was able to accept it, and then I can hear other bands, I don't get that same feeling that I got when I first heard it. Because, some music, I'm very careful. I listen to all types of music, and for all different reasons. But I'm very careful of how much of what I listen to, because it sends vibrations. It sends, just got to
a lot of times, also to your whole point, it might have just been the particular band also that you were listening to at the time when you first heard it, because depending upon who's playing the instruments, what's going on in their own spirit. Mm-hmm. I can remember even, for example, when we did, speaking of BOE, me and Lloyd were actually in BOE together for some years, by the way. Remember when we did the Spirit of Gideon CD? Mm-hmm. We did a bounce beat to the song that Jen sang. You know what I'm saying? That whole And the Majesty thing.
Yeah, Majesty. Yes.
Yeah. So we turned a worship song that we all had heard from our experiences being exposed to Christian and Hindu music or whatever, worship music, and turned it into a bounce beat group.
Yeah. And it was very well received. Very well received.
Yeah, and it was received, and it did something in people's spirits.
That's what I was about to say. Yep.
I remember when every time we did that song, Lori could never get to the whole song without crying.
I'm thinking about it now. Like, it's just, because when you get the music on top of her voice, which is another instrument as well, and the way it just came, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. AJ, if you haven't heard it,
it's all about the frequency. Because, like, for example, we got singles and things coming from the soundtrack for this, for our documentary and the whole R2BB movement. That sound like trap and bounce beat.
Right, yeah.
Like that muscle crank, you know what I'm saying? You might snippet that joint again one time for them, you know what I'm saying? But that muscle crank, is a perfect example of how you can take a frequency that could be used for either positive or negative and flipping it. Because the whole song, we are here, it's like trapping with a purpose. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's not. it's not, emitting the frequency or vibration of death and destruction.
Right. It's like that Draco joint. Man, is that the Bible Draco?
That's that Stonehouse thing. Oh, I can't wait till we had a whole Stonehouse on the show. Boy.
Man, I was like, okay, see that, like something like that I can get with because I could bring Sleepy out and still be Miss Lori Love. You know what I'm saying? Like I could, hey, I don't know if you don't really know too much about Sleepy, but that's my little hood style. That's my little hood style, but no. But yeah, I think that to piggyback a little bit, I think I was at the first annual Go-Go Awards when I heard that. And I think it was at the convention center. When it was the convention center. I think that's where it was at. And the floor was shaking and everything. And I'm like, what is these people? Because everybody was doing whatever you do to the bounce music, And that was my first. I was like, this ain't no Go-Go. Because in my head, I'm thinking about my pops, I'm thinking about Chuck, I'm thinking about all the old heads, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are they doing to Go-Go? But
it's definitely a different pulse than what we grew up on.
Yeah.
But another thing, speaking of genre bending as I call it, we call it. You know what I discovered about trap music? It's at the same tempo as the bounce beat.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the slow bounce.
Yeah.
Hey, it's trap music, dog.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to go even further back than that, try watching an African tribal war drive.
Yep.
Is it tribal? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's all tribal. What it feels like is based on the vessels who are releasing the frequency and what they on the inside.
Okay.
Right. That's real.
Right.
That's real right there.
It is real. I'm about to say, because now, like I said, when I listen to it, I don't hear it the same way I did when I first heard it. I don't even know what band it was. I think I'm glad that I don't. So I don't want to, put nothing out there like that. But, but I like it now. Needless to say, I like it now. It's had to evolve, and I'm so like. What Erica say, analog girl in a digital world type situation. I like what I like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm learning though, you don't have to necessarily conform, but you do have to sometimes evolve with the times and kind of like, weird, but it is what it is.
The other thing too, because you mentioned that you love reggae, that's the other thing that I discovered. A lot of trap beats sound like a cross between a Jodeci 90s album and reggae.
Did you say a Jodeci 90s album?
Yeah, real
That's
talk.
real.
Think about it.
That's
like
real.
you got like, you know what I'm saying, trap be like
Yeah, I was singing the song in my head like
it's Jodeci all day. Timberland and Devontae Swing smashed that sound 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
Mm-hmm. Real talk.
And then if you want to incorporate the reggae dub, that is all. I've been in bunches of reggae parties where that with that whole heavy 808 bass sound, but speaking of Black Broadway, speaking of Lori Love, loving reggae, speaking of all of us, speaking about the different flavors and the power of the Renaissance and the power of the evolution, it's all interconnected because it's us.
That's real.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What we do with it is up to us also.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
But the beauty of Black Broadway has always been that there was so many different flavors and styles at the different shows. You might get an artist that might do reggae and go-go and jazz all on one set.
Man.
Then turn around. I know when I used to go to the open mics at Bar None, I would, you know what I'm saying, sing, then rap, then scat over when they would flip the jazz beat into it. Because they knew I went to school for music, so they would be like, "Hey, tell them to swing real quick." Right after I just finished rapping. And there's other artists like Jay Mills and yourself and a whole bunch of other people on here. Your Ashley Brown raps to a funk band.
Who was that?
Right.
Your Ashley Brown raps to a funk band, the Filthy Animals.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so like a lot of all of y'all flavors, you know what I'm saying, and everybody's flavor and everybody's, strength of your art and your gift, it's all goes back to the whole originality and how all of the different things together make the whole.
Right.
The power of that. So we couldn't have everything we needed for the DC we seem to be what it is without Miss Lori Love.
I appreciate that.
Nah, and that's no size though, because just to bring it back around to why we have you on as a special guest, we ain't have you on as a special guest just because you was on the song. We had you as a special guest because your story is dope.
Absolutely.
Look, I would have filled with the song.
The song was the icing on the cake. That because I had something that was already in place that I could invite everybody to.
Right, I appreciate
but
it.
Each and every artist was invited and handpicked by the Most High.
Yeah. Because even when you reached out, it was so crazy, AJ. Because when he reached out to me about the opportunity, and I said to him, I was going through this. I was like, I've been praying, trying to figure out what do you want me to do with my gift? I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I wanted to continue to try to rap. I didn't know if I wanted to just go back to doing my poem. I didn't know. I was just like, I just didn't know. And then he came and he, presented everything to me. And I was like, that is perfect. Like, that was just so perfect. And the whole meaning behind it and the bringing everything, I'm all for that. I was like prayers answered, it was just so, the timing was just so perfect. And I just thank y'all so much. Like, thank you. Because I do have a story, we all do. And for me, one of the reasons why I don't give up, because and I didn't get all holy on y'all, but if I give up, I can never give God the glory. I can never be like, this is what happened. I wanted to give up so many times. It's so easy. My youngest, I have 3 children, the twins and my son. They're all adults now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And but life don't stop happening. Just because I'm still a mother. They still want to need me. I still need myself, but I know I feel so deep. A deep sense of purpose. Like, it was a reason this happened. It was a reason that happened. Just keep going. So, and then opportunities like this present itself. I can kind of share little bits and pieces of my story and things like that. Even within the verse, on the track, just little bits and pieces. And then, people who know me, some people might get to, that's why she always talking about being 14 with kids. That's my story, That's
put some respect on the story, man.
That's right.
Look, you say to them, you say, listen, you try being 14 with kids and still have a story like mine.
You
understand what I'm gonna tell it every single time
I look back and I have to, it's nothing but God. I'm telling y'all, I don't know. I'm still in my right mind. I never resort to any harsh habits or nothing, no craziness or nothing like that. Thank you, Jesus. I just, I don't know. I just feel like we go through things so we can get through them and learn whatever it is that we need to learn. And I feel like for me personally, because of all the different experiences in life that I've had, I'm able to talk to so many different type of people because I can relate. It's one thing getting advice from somebody who just being a good friend and want to try to help you pull your bootstraps up, but to actually have a conversation with somebody who can relate to the same thing or have a little bit of experience, that's different, because I can tell you what worked for me it may not work for you, but I can tell you what worked for me. So now you can at least have some type of hope or want to try or want to hold on a little bit longer. You know, maybe it's not this bad. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, if she can do it, then I can do it, you know, so, you know, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Birther of purpose. I don't know why that keeps hitting me. But you know, Lori, every so often when I touch base with you, I say things like this because the Most High keep telling me you are a birther of purpose. Not just for you, but for many others. There's many others who have been touched by your life who decide, I've seen it in front of my own eyes because I've been around you to know. Like, but that's why I remember, AJ, when I first was even describing Lori, you know, we were having a little joke about it. And in a minute, I want to actually ask you to the point of where I'm about to go with this, because it's a segue into another part of who you are and your brand and just the power of how you get down as a boss. But like, Lori is. Listen, hold up, stop fighting, come inside. We about to have some biscuits and some cookies. So sit down. But that's Lori.
Yeah.
So it's like it exudes from your being, and then you help birth out of these young people and the people you touch. And she also you have an amazing love. You shared different times, you know, online, and you know, as we fellowship, being in the band and different points, you talked about how you have a love for elders.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She makes elders feel like they still matter in a world where sometimes people push them to the side.
Yeah. That's important.
I've also seen her do that as well. That's part of her ministry. That's the gift that God gave her. Young people, the disenfranchised, outcasts, have-nots, and the elders who still need to know that they matter and their history counted for something.
Yeah. Of course, that's what's in my heart. But I gotta give my grandma some credit for that too. I don't have any grandparents anymore, but my grandmother was like, oh man, I don't know if we all feel this way about our grandparents, but she was like, I don't think I'll ever meet a human like her again. She was like one of my favorite people, you know. But yeah, like you said, I just, you know, babies and the older people and stuff like that, it's just always been where my heart has been. Try not to get emotional, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. And I lost my train of thought and thinking about my grandma in that phase. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Listen, you know, grandma is special to your heart, so take you there. You sitting here too long, we all gonna be here thinking about grandma.
I know, so we ain't we ain't gotta stay there too long.
And both of them was like that. So yeah, so now, but I feel it. But to the whole thing, the expression is in your name that you chose as an artist. The expression is in the way you exude, and it shows even in the way you laid your verse down for the R2BB Cypher Crew. Because she opens up with the art of storytelling, which is a dope element of hip hop, by the way. You know, and then sets the tone for this collective understanding. The whole opening line, I'm gonna get right here. You know, I'm gonna get ahead of us a little bit because I was gonna talk about something else first, but since we right here. The first line of her bars is "Victory is ours. All you gotta do is believe." On top, she telling the people, "Hey, we can do this."
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I believe that.
Already birthing it in the atmosphere.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
So everything else that was said was in the context of that. The whole song.
That's right.
So yeah, I think it's amazing. Now, talk to us some more about in your bars, like in some of the lines. You know, I know you talked about the 14 with twins. Some thought that you wouldn't make it. You know, little did they know it was sadly mistaken, created in his image. You know, that's all of that. That's the story right there. Like, Now, talk to us about the line. I'm gonna go somewhere that might be uncommon. When you say I'm a savage with faith, and I know they can't take it. Give us stuff about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let us into how that fits for Lori Love. You know what I'm saying? Authentically.
So I am okay. When I okay, the typical Christian or religious person, I don't know, I don't want to offend nobody, however you might put it, may look at me and be like, well, how could she say she loves Jesus, or how could she do this and do that? But I'm 420 friendly. I still cuss, I still party, I still do things, I guess, that most religious people would say is of the world, or whatever the case may be. And and I still get shown the same grace and mercy. So that's kind of like what I meant by that. I'm a savage with faith, and I know they can't take it. They probably want you to go sit on a pew somewhere, go join the ministry, go do this, go do that. So no, I'm not. I know I will never be perfect. I try my best to be my best at all times, and that's why, because I've had this personal encounter with people. Oh, you think you perfect, or you think you this, you think no. I just try. I'm just me. I'm just who I am. And I show my imperfections all the time, just to let people know I am still human. But I love God with all my heart. My faith. When I was younger, it was a little bit more radical than what it is now. But I've been through so much that I can only say God has brought me out of a higher power. It wasn't me. Even to this day, I sit in this house and I be like, hey, like. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what that came from. I'm a savage with faith, and I know they can't take it. Like, how she still going? Like, she done been shot. She done been through that. She done did that, and she's still praising God, and she ain't lost her mind, and she just, I'm like, no, I'm not. I've come too far. I've come to it. It makes sense. Like I said before, I be feeling it. I'll be wanting to be like, well, God, I'm trying to live this way, and I'm being a good person, but I'm getting the short end of the stick, or I feel like if I was to do it this way, it might move a little faster for me or be a little better for me. But no, I know what I've been brought through, and I can't give up.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now,
really
speaking of the cookies and cakes and things, in a minute, I want to get into talking about on the entrepreneurial level what you got going on. But before we get there, AJ, if we got anything in the comments you want to share?
We got plenty. The conversation been rolling so much. We got basically 32 minutes worth of comments we ain't even get to.
Wow. Yeah. All right, so listen, let's show some love to the people in the comments. Yeah, we ain't forgot about y'all. This conversation just been getting real good, and I'm glad that y'all feeling compelled to join in. Talk to me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So definitely want to make sure we show some love to A.Kev. You know what I'm saying? He was in the comments a little earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but I'm saying, definitely appreciate you for tapping in. Let me see who else. OG the Queen been lighting up the comments. She definitely been showing plenty of love. You know what I'm saying? I want to read a couple of her comments she has. So she said, even after all the female greats, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Lil Kim, and many more, our sound has to be precise. Men seemingly expect it as natural, in my opinion. And then let me see some more love. Shout out to Anonymous Touch on a check-in on YouTube. Definitely appreciate the love and support from Anonymous Touch. Definitely appreciate that. Let me see. We had a few more comments. It's funny that you started to get into the cakes and everything, because hold on, OG had a comment earlier, and she said, did you say cakes? Yeah, so you definitely got people's attention with that.
Shout out to OG the Queen. Thanks for all the love, sister.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. Cakes.
Well, you got anything else in there, brother, or that's about it for right now?
It's a bunch, but I don't want to read all these joints. But you know what I'm saying, like one of the things, actually another thing that OG the Queen says, she said, God knows and love you for you. And then this comment right here was a great comment. It's the judgment of others that make us question our genuity. So a genuinity. if I'm not even saying that right. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Yep. And actually, it's funny when she said that. When I read it, I was like, yeah, because I grew up. I'm better with it now. I'm not there anymore, but I did grow up always wondering, or thinking about what everybody else did. Because I was a young mother, so I already had that over my head. But it kind of stuck around a little longer than it should have, thinking about what others think, because that's how you become a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already a genuinely nice person and want to do, but because I didn't want to be labeled with certain things or perceived a certain way, I tended to do a lot of that. Not that I didn't want to, but there were probably situations that where I could have just been like, no, what I'm saying, or that's not really for me, or you can get somebody else to help you with it. But no, I had to help everybody with everything all the time.
Yeah.
So, but again, like she said, because of the judgment of thinking about what others or how others are going to, judge. I mean, that's just one little example that I gave. There's other things too. But
yeah.
I don't have them problems no more because I don't give a time.
That's right. Own that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey,
That's
so
right.
look, before we get into talking about the cookies and cakes and things, I think we should take a quick music break and jump into this freestyle. Talk to us about this freestyle before we play it. Talk to us about this freestyle experience you had. The artist. I know you mentioned Clever Thoughts earlier. I know she's just one of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So my sister, Sweet Animosity, shout out to her. She's the new queen on the block. I think she's been around about 2, maybe 3 years now. I can't remember. Sorry, sister, if I got that wrong. But she's pretty dope. She's really, really dope. But she came to me and told me that Chaos, that's the guy that put the situation together. Name right? Yeah, Chaos. Not just in my head, not my heart. If I got that wrong, he needed another female for this cipher that he wanted to do, and he been trying to get this done for so many long. But for so many long. I think the sleepy starts creeping up. He was trying to get it done, but a lot of the female artists, were skeptical of I guess his motives or whatever the case may be. But it was fun. It wasn't nothing like what people probably think is cool. But anyway, she came to me. At this time, I'm in a hiatus. Like, I'm not doing anything. So it was just like one of the moments like, okay, sure. She came to me, told me what the concept was. It was the DMV Cypher. And it was her, Sweet Animosity, Clever Thoughts, myself, and then you have Kenneworth Katrina on the track as well. I don't want to say like a hype person. I don't know what's the correct term for it, but that's pretty much, she's on the introducing all of us on the track. And then she get her at the end of it. If you ever heard it, at the end of the track, she got her Tupac on with that joint. You're like, yeah. But that's another dope artist I love and respect. Great energy. Actually produced a lot of Sweet Animosity tracks for her music. Like, she's dope. But yeah, so they gave me the concept and I listened to the beat, and I don't know, but when I heard it, I just heard LL Cool J joint. That was the first thing that popped in my head, and I don't call it a comeback because I know at this time, like I said, I've been kind of in hiatus. So I just went from there, and I was surprised myself when I first did it, but yeah, that's where it went. So presented with the opportunity, and I got a chance to shine again and be on a track with other dope artists. That's another thing. I'm sorry, y'all. That I be. It just be the rooms that I be in with other people. Like I don't have no problem saying I'm a fan first. I'm a fan. Like I like what I like, and if your music is dope and then I get to see how you move as an artist. I don't really who you are as a person. I can't really, I would never really know anybody, so I don't really get into all that. But the music, like, and then I'm in here with you, like, dang, I'm in here with Ken Rock Katrina. I'm in here with Clever Thoughts, and the Chaos Dude. I'm like, so I don't take any of this stuff lightly. Like, I'm always honored. Like, right before this happened, Bobby Drake hit me in my DM, said he needed some spoken word on a track. I got the blue. I'm like, okay, so I don't take it lightly.
Yeah. All right, so look, speaking to that whole point, we're gonna go ahead and take a music break and let y'all jam to this DFB Cypher, Mr. Lori Love's verse, which is fire. You know what I'm saying? One time, burn it up on the road. The lead, the visionary, MCs, Queen Edition. Shout out to all the Queen MCs that were involved in tracks, all of which are my personal 50 queens and homies as well. You know what I'm saying? League of Visionaries, MCs, Queen Edition. Cypher. Check it out.
Yeah, nigga. Fire. All 2021. DMV Queen Edition. Right now.
Don't call it a comeback. I'm picking up where I left off. The streets say I owe them. I guess I'm here to pay my debt off. All bets off. I'm through gambling with this shit. I've been dealt a better hand and I'm going all in. With all due respect, how the fuck I owe you debt? When I came on the scene, I showed much love. I came correct. I told y'all I was coming in peace, but you seem to want war. Be careful what you wish for. I will bring it to your doorstep. I might check your rep, sound check your steps, shine my light on your house, take away your sight, thunderclap your breath away. Man, I'm just one step away from stopping. Matter of fact, let me pray. Forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do. All they know is Lori Love, they don't know Sleepy Boo. It's the SOEEPY, that's me, coming from Southeast, hyphenated PG. Few places in between, I've seen things and I've seen. I pay the cost to be the boss, and I'm reaching for the queen. Y'all reaching for the green, and trust me, I can dig it, but to me, it's just a figment. Entrapment made for my pigment. Y'all grab the mic, not ignorant. I grab the mic for our children. Chocolate City in this bitch, or DMV, whatever you feeling.
Yeah, whatever you feeling, nigga. It's however you niggas want carry, nigga.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah. Lit that booth on fire.
Yeah,
Like
I just want to say I thought it was dope how she gave you just and that last line on your verse in R2BB Cypher makes even more and more sense to me now. She gave you just enough grit to border the line of hardcore, but the content was still like, I'm bringing a light though.
Right,
I'm gonna try to light up your house though. You feel like you want to give me a hug instead of pull out a gun though. Like, I think that's how it says.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
And you getting plenty of love in the comments from OG to Queen, from Anonymous Touch. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
So
you.
people
Aw.
definitely loving the vibes there. So definitely appreciate everybody for commenting and all that good stuff, showing our sis some love. You know.
Thank y'all so much. Hey, 257 just came in.
Yes, appreciate you for tapping in with us this evening.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, y'all got my cheeks hurting.
Listen, we giving roses like they say. I ain't biting off a Noyo and drink champs, but it's just an old saying. It's true. We giving roses while you can still smell.
I appreciate
That's right. Absolutely.
Love you too.
Yes, indeed. So, speaking of cooking up, you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff. Talk to us about, some of the other endeavors that you really been kind of embarking on with your business. You got, the catering business, or, have a couple different assortment of things to offer.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Okay, so May 2011, in my project apartment in Southwest, that's when Graceful Cooking and Catering was born. I was working full time during the day. It kind of had a little bit of time in the evening to, do something. And so Roosevelt High School was offering these evening classes called Roosevelt State. And one of the classes was a culinary class. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay, let me, check this out, see what's what. So took the little test and all that stuff that I needed it, to get in. And I went in there and I didn't learn how to cook there. I already, pretty much knew that. But I did learn a lot of different techniques and kitchen management, how to do stuff from scratch. Pause. That's where the cakes come in at. We had to make it. So we got to the pastry part of the course and we had to make a rum cake. And that was my very first time. I believe that was my very first time ever making a cake from scratch. And that cake was so good, y'all. It was balanced, like the rum and it was like a top shelf bar drink and a high quality bakery pastry at the same time. So
you gotta make one now, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's already about to be, no question. So that's how that came along. What made me want to get more into the baking part. But before I get there, so the graceful cooking and catering, I used to help a lot at my church at the time. But still my church family. Shout out to change the name, the Church of Greater Love or Greater Love Community Church. And I used to help out in the kitchen a lot. And so I just noticed when I was in the kitchen compared to everybody else, I'm moving kind of, not really slow, but everybody else was kind of in a rush. I was moving I'm still getting things done. Anyway, I was moving gracefully. So that's how I came up. I was taking my time and, just want things to be right in a certain way. So that's how I came up with the name Graceful Cooking and Catering. And then later I would change mine because I started baking more than I was cooking. So that's when I changed it. The business is still Graceful Cooking and Catering. I couldn't change that on paper, but doing business as Graceful Cooking Cakes and Cookies. So when after that rum cake, you couldn't tell me nothing. I went out to I bought me a book like different cakes and stuff, like cake balls. I started watching him a lot on TV. And I'm nowhere near as good as he, because I'm not a decorator. I just bake real good. It'll be nice enough for you, it'll look nice enough, but I just haven't gotten into all that just yet. I just make sure it tastes good. But anyway, so I just started baking. I started selling dinners and stuff out my neighborhood at the time, P Street. And catering, I was doing like repasts and things like that. I actually got an opportunity to cater for an election. It was a councilman running in Ward 7. My old professor from UDC had reached out to me. He saw what I was doing and he reached out to me and asked me if I would like to, it was me and another caterer, if I would like to, join team. I was like, yeah, of course, so that was awesome being able to do that. And they actually kept in touch a little bit afterwards and everything for other things that they had going on. So that was pretty dope. So yeah, it started from there, doing my dinners and everything. And then it died down for a while. Because life happens, there's ups and downs. So life happens. Never really stopped, but it just slowed down a little bit. So and when that happened, my momentum and my drive and wanting to do it kind of like went down with it. So now I'm back at work and working. If you know me long enough, I'm like always stay with a job. I had no problem with getting a job or anything like that. And then things just started because I never stopped. I had and I still got ready. I had people always hit me up with cakes. So I'm steady baking cakes, and then it will always be something that I never done before. So now I'm learning how to make German chocolate cakes. I'm learning how to make cheesecake. Now let me tell you about the first cheesecake I made was in one of them spring foam pans that that you got to take the latch off and get it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know how to get the cheesecake off the bottom. Thank God it was a lady from my church I end up sending I said, please forgive me. I didn't want to mess the cheesecake up, but I didn't know how to get it off the pan, so I sent the pan right along with the cheesecake with it. So, but it was okay.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That is.
Cheesecake, though. So yeah, things got to pick up again a little bit, and then I started taking jobs in these bakeries. I started working at. I've worked at least 3 of DC's best. You know how restaurants get, awarded DC's best bakery. So I'm baking them cupcakes that you see at the 930 Club. I'm baking them joints. I'm like, shoot, I had these before because my, pops are always at the 930 Club, and I'm backstage with them, and the cupcakes good too. So I'm baking them. I'm baking them cupcakes that you might see at the Walgreens down Gallery Place. Like I'm doing, this is stuff that I'm like, it's not my recipe. It's not my recipe, but I was in charge of like mass baking. So I would be baking these, I would the other chefs would come in during the day and they would get all the batters and stuff together, and I would come in like 3 o'clock in the morning and just bake off everything. Then they has to go out to the stores and go out, and that was a wonderful experience. I learned so much. I learned how to make a lot of the jam, fillings and stuff from scratch. Just being able to see how these things that we eat or we might buy from the store, like jam, just to see how these things are made. And now that's something I learned, and I didn't have to go to Art Institute and pay no $90,000 to learn how to
Right.
I met donut shops. I learned how to make donuts and how to make the jelly that go inside of donuts. I know how to make marshmallow from scratch. So I'm strategically picking these jobs, not just because I need a paycheck, but I'm learning.
I didn't even say that. That's boss mentality. I wasn't going to say that off the respect. Because here's the thing. My mama told me a long time ago, she said, son, you can't get ahead just with no job. Job is for survival.
Yeah.
She said careers that have purpose and that are strategically placed is how you thrive, especially as a black person in America. Black, not just a black man or a black woman. So I say that because in my family I got like big entrepreneurs and educators and stuff like that. So I say that to say, if you're going to have a job, and this is a message for anybody that's listening to, word to Return to Black Broadway and the history that Brother AJ shared about the entrepreneurship and history of the culture attached to Black Broadway. But that's another part of Black Broadway is black business.
Yeah.
That's right.
Black enterprise and black
entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment, all of that. And so what I'm saying is that if you're going to have a job or multiple jobs, don't just have a job.
Right.
Strategically place yourself as to what kind of job will help you work towards your entrepreneurial goal.
That's right.
You're trying to be your own boss, and because of whatever responsibilities you have on your plate as an adult, you can't quite jump all the way here first and just be an entrepreneur yet for things to be popping at a level where you can really live. Then you accompany your entrepreneurship. Notice I said accompany your entrepreneurship, not have the entrepreneurship accompany your job.
Right.
Some people will catch that later. But you have the entrepreneurship being accompanied by jobs that are related to what you actually do.
Right.
You're trying to expand your business into.
Yeah. And because of that, if somebody was to be like, look, I've been watching you, I'm getting old, I don't want to do this no more, you can have this curry out, or you can have this diner. I will run that thing like I've been in so many situations. I was a manager for what's the next, not Silver Diner. It's the one out of Virginia. It's a couple of them, y'all. They got good food. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I cannot think of it right now.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, out of Virginia. So, and one night, none of my servers showed up. Bob and Edith's. That's what it is. Bob and Edith's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bob and Edith's. None of my servers showed up. Luckily, I think I had one server that showed up that night. And it was a Saturday club letting out because I was an overnight. I always like to work overnight. But what I did, I got in the middle of the floor. I got everybody's attention, let them know what was going on. And, just to bear with me. And they respected that. I got a little applause afterwards and everything. I went to talk to my kitchen staff. We came up with a game plan. And it was hectic for like an hour or two. But no money was lost. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? But that I was able to do that because of all the jobs that I've had, in the environment, and knowing that, like, I'm gonna have to do this one day, you know what I'm saying? Like, one day I'm gonna have to, well, prayerfully, I don't have that particular situation when nobody shows up at work. But yeah, I'm gonna have to run my own diner, because ultimately I would like a diner, and it's gonna be named after my grandmother. I can't tell y'all the name yet, but it's gonna be a bakery and diner. And
that's dope.
Yep, and the whole idea is to make it like grandma's house back in the day. I think a lot of us, especially from my generation, well, I'm saying mine, like y'all know what I mean.
Pick up what you put in.
I'll be thinking I'm still like young. I miss Sunday dinners. I miss being around all my cousins and stuff like that. I miss going to my grandmother's house and helping her bake the cakes and sitting down as a family waiting for I miss that. So my concept was to create something like that. And what I would like to promote, even if y'all didn't come in together, talk, because y'all might have to wait till this food get done. So while you waiting, go sit on the couch, go play some board games, mingle, whatever, get to know each other,
That's hot.
That is a great concept.
That is an amazing idea.
That's ultimately my goal. That's my goal. Yeah.
And listen, for all y'all people out there listening, I already sealed this idea with the blood of Yahshua. And don't none of y'all trying to take my sister idea.
That's right. That's right.
I heard it right.
We got
right. I did.
That's right. Visual evidence.
Yeah. Right. So it's recorded, so don't even play.
That's right. That's right.
But no, listen, real quick. I gotta say it while I see it. You know how it works with us, Lord. Mm-hmm. In my vision, I saw expansion is here. It's now. It's not coming. It's already upon you.
They just confirmed so much. They just confirmed what I've been. Thank you.
It is.
Oh yeah. Listen, it ain't me. No, I'm just saying, just so y'all know, we ain't trying to be all deep and spooky, but listen, we all believe in the power of the Most High Spirit.
Oh yeah.
You liable to catch all kind of prophetic things that happen on this podcast. Just because this ain't church, don't think they won't happen.
Right.
You just confirmed so much, and y'all don't even understand how much lately I've been stepping out of my comfort zone. I've been stepping outside. I've been stepping out of all type of line. Like I'm just I'm because of life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? I'll go out, but it ain't so much. But I've been stepping outside my comfort zone, and when I do that, things like this happen. One of the biggest steps that I've taken lately, and it has to do more so with my business. I never really wanted to do anything while I live because, I still live in the projects. I'm just not where I was. And I just never really wanted to, just play while I lay in a sense, because this is new area for me where I'm at. And I really, because I'm an empty nester and my kids, I really don't do much, like I probably was when I was in, my other neighborhood. So it was like, hey, I don't really want to, I just got my reasons. I never really wanted to set up here, but I did it, and it's been surprisingly opposite to what I thought it was going to be. God has really been showing up. That's just how I can say it. And I'm learning that because I'm listening. I'm not leaning on my own understanding. I'm actually, I'm actually like being obedient, I guess that's what I could say. And it's working, it's working. And again, I have to, in order for me to do that, I have to step outside my comfort zone. because I could be very disobedient. I could be stubborn. You know, I could be stubborn with my Abba, and I you know, and you know, gotta forgive me because I know when doing that, I'm taking advantage of His grace. I wrote that in a line before in a song that I wrote. I'm not about to get into that, but because of how He's elevated me and how I am, like I said, getting out my comfort zone. I'm learning, and I'm noticing that the world it's not as bad as you think it is because of what you might have experienced or because of this, and that. So, but yeah, I just thank you. Just confirmed a lot, and that's where all that just came from. So thank you.
Basically, like you said, not allowing your past experiences to shape your now, like in a negative way,
right?
Where it blocks you from being able to receive when the Lord, when God wants to give you something special or open a door for you, and allowing your belief that He has you covered and you have high discernment. Like if anybody y'all ever been around Lloyd, her discernment is like retarded. Like we could just be sitting somewhere. Like we used to be at band practice or at a show, and shit's be like basically. You would get these moments you would dip off and just kind of be similar to like how the Queen is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are very similar in that way. They just get real quiet and start, you get kind of this glazed over gaze, tell that you're singing and singing stuff. And so you're so in tune that you don't have to fear safety because you'll be able to tell whether or not that opportunity is coming from God or not, or whether it's something that's trying to distract you and throw you off.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And if I can just real quick, and I ain't gonna be long-winded with it, but just so that they'll understand, because I did say allow life to kind of make those decisions for me. I was hit by I was put in the crossfire when I was 15 years old. So it's not necessarily about I'm in a bad area or nothing like that. I've been hit by a damn straight bullet before, so I'm very I don't want to say I get scared or I don't, I'm trying to, be careful what type of words I speak out of my mouth, stuff like that. But that's what it was. It was a fear, not that I was going to get shot or anything like that, but, I know bullets don't have no name on it, you know what I'm saying? I know where I live is not one of the best areas to live, every day I hear shots, where I'm at. So, but it's been good. It's been good. I'm not out every day right now. I'm out like 3 days a week, and I do it between certain hours. And with that, oh my goodness, I love it because I have a box that I will have like food, like if you need it, So I had that sitting there outside too. And the last day that we was out, a man came by. He needed everything that was in the box, so we was able to put the stuff in a bag for him because so he wouldn't have to carry the box. I say we, my fiance and I, so he wouldn't have to carry the box. You know what I'm saying? So that felt good because that's what I really want to do. I hate having y'all know how many cookies I gave away last week, and how many banana nut breads and stuff like that because people wanted, but they didn't have them because they didn't have the money and stuff, but. I understand I would never really make it in business at that, so I got to figure out, how to do that. But that's, I get them type of opportunities. I get the opportunity to, to see the kids after school, how they ask them about how their day went, talk to their parents. I'm learning that there's a lot of other entrepreneurs, and in my neighborhood, and so stepping outside to share out your comfort zone. But for those of you who are around, if you have that same issue, just trust in God, and just don't be afraid. A lot of times, what they say, fear, false evidence, appearing real.
Yeah.
We putting something there to be like, what you afraid of? I got on the plane the first time in 2018 because I was afraid to fly. And then when I did it, it was like one of the most peaceful experiences I've ever had in my life. Like fear, so you can't allow fear to hold us back. I don't know if y'all ever had this. I used to be fear of success, and I would self-sabotage so much. What if this do work? What if what if it do pick, jump off? And I would just fall back. I would just fall back. I've actually done it in my career as an artist too. I've self-sabotaged a few times.
You know the beautiful thing of where you at right now, though? You're in a rebirth.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's like.
So as the Bridges say, no matter. You shall roll on as if it never happened and continue as if we're doing what we're doing today.
That's right. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's power in that because you can share that with somebody and say, yeah, look, this is what I learned. Don't do that. And by the way, just even if you found yourself doing that too, it's not over. It's not the end of it. It's just the beginning because now you're in a divine reset.
Yeah.
Like you said, you be chilling, minding your business, just trying to show love and make sure you take care of your everyday responsibilities, take care of yourself, love for the people in your neighborhood, and then God just be dropping opportunities in your lap like, bang, here you go.
Yeah.
At a time where
it's real.
Yeah.
Y'all.
And at a time when you watch this, when you're actually ready to receive it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what it is.
God not gonna just keep dropping opportunities if we're not ready to receive them because we just gonna waste them.
Yeah,
and so what he does is he teaches us through the opportunities that we may have not stewarded as well, but then he come back around again when he knows that you're ready. Like, all right, they got it now.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's absolutely right. Yep.
Yeah. This show right here that we're having, for me, is a testament of that.
I'm sorry. Someone had popped up in the chat, and I'm sorry. What you say, bro? I'm so sorry.
Nah, I'm just saying. Just to encourage you and anybody else out there, this show right here, for me, is an example of God said, here you go. Right at a time when he knew I could receive and hear him say, this is what I need to do with this.
Wow.
And because there was a time when there's other, you know what I'm saying, I put together things and events before in the past, but I was so focused on other stuff that was going on in my world that I didn't push the envelope as far as I could have. And oftentimes I put others in front of my goal or task and dream because I was believed in helping other people.
Yep.
This time he said, no, I'm going to give you an idea and you're not going to go and help everybody else do their thing. You've been doing that for years. Still love on your people, still help them, but the best way you can help them is invite them to something that I gave you.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. And look at it. Look at you now. Hey. We manifesting.
Yes, indeed. So we all in here. And Brother AJ has a whole show where he talks about his whole late bloomer concept and all the different stages he went to try to find his niche as an artist. And then he talks about how, I mean, this man is like the dopest radio personality in our town I've ever met.
Oh, man.
I appreciate that, man.
But it's connected. When I say this dude is connected people. So it's all a part of this whole initiative. Please, people, hear me. That's what Return to Black Broadway is about. It inspired so many of us to actually have a fire to do something beyond our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Right. Out of the comfort zone.
The first place that I actually saw outside of when I had done stuff out of town, as far as in DC, the very first place that I felt like people actually received my art in its totality was when I was on U Street.
Okay.
I used to be like, what am I supposed to be, like a scatting, hip-hopping, piano playing, what? Revolutionary? Like, what is that? Like, people want to be like, what is this guy? And they loved it, especially shout out to Bar None, as we used to call it. It's now Pure Lounge. But I performed in Pure Lounge with that concept so many times now because they also shout out to Raquel Brown and also shout out to Jabari Exum because they also were very instrumental in keeping that whole open mic and artist feature thing going at Bar None and what's now Pure Lounge. But that was the first place I was like, one time I had taken a break from being on going out to the different events, and then I felt, I was kind of just working on me and working on different things, and then the Most High said, go out tonight. And on that same night, I went to an event, I spit some bars, and then turned around and was singing a song that the guy was giving me on the spot. You know how that happens to me, you know what I'm saying? And then right after that,
wow,
the musicians who were all of them play jazz. And so they were just like, yo, Rain, go ahead and give him the scat mode. And so I was like nervous because I know they had heard me scat because I studied jazz in school. But I was like, how am I going to start scatting at a venue with a bunch of rapping, weed smoking, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, I just came off the block from selling dope before I decided to come in this event tonight.
Right.
And I went for it, and they freaking lost their minds. Yeah, like Tupac just showed up in the building.
They probably was like, they wasn't expecting. They probably heard your bars and everything. They probably wasn't expecting.
Yeah, they was nodding their heads to the, but think about it, they liked the bars and they was vibing with me and what I was saying. But when I turned around and then started scatting, they was like, what? Just turned the whole club sideways. So I say that to say to everybody, and again with you, Lori, because you flip your style and the different gifts you have so many different ways now. It's been poetry. It's been rapping live with a band. It's been, you know what I'm saying, spitting straight, you know what I'm saying, battle rhymes. It's all of that, but all with that perspective of you being the unique you that the Most High created you to be. And he says your gifts will make room for you. So he made room for all of us if we just tap into the space in which he has given us to exist.
Wow. You're absolutely right about that one. When you was just talking about your experience. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you all right. Go ahead. I'm just, over here just excited about everything that we.
I am too. But
go ahead. I want to hear.
You were talking about it's nothing long. When you was talking about your experience at Bar None and how they received you and everything, it made me think about the time I was. What's the place on Georgia Avenue? It's a kind of a historical type spot. I just got a brain fart. Oh my goodness! It's on Georgia Avenue.
Tropicana.
Not Tropicana. It got the grand piano on the wall going around.
Oh, is that Bohemian Caverns?
No.
You talking about what the old copper house used to be, where it's like a piano and then a Duke Ellington on the side on U Street?
I think so. Is that the old copper house? Oh, I'm so mad I cannot think about where this place. It's gonna come to me afterwards, watch. But the whole point I was making when I got off the stage that day, I was sitting down talking with Tragic. He came out to support me that night, and shout out to Tragic. He came out to support me that night.
Crazy.
And an older lady, came over to me. She sat down right next to me and grabbed my hand. This lady had tears in her eyes. She said, "Don't you ever stop doing what you're doing." She said, "People need to hear what you got to say." And she gave me a hug and everything. And Tragic would not let me forget that. You the one, you made that lady, you brought tears to the lady. You would not let me forget that. When I get into my little, I don't know if I should be going to man, you brought tears to somebody, guys. So when you mentioned how you felt, that made me think about that time. And I use that every once in a while when I get in my little mode, like I'm not sure if they want to hear what I gotta say or what I'm gonna. It made me think about that. And maybe it's your audience is out there. Whoever is, even if it's one person, I say that in the bar. If I reach one, my job here is done. Like even if it's just that one person, So, I'm mad. I can't think of the name of that place, but yeah. When I remember it, I'll let y'all know.
So, what's on the horizon for Lori Love in terms of your business? Talk to the people about where they can get some of them graceful cakes and cookies And
So you can follow me. Well, okay, I'm not in the stores or anything like that yet. We working on that. Actually, really working on that. The
oh yeah,
neighborhood
it's
store
coming.
around here, I talked to the owner. He already told me. All I gotta do is get my labels on them that lets you know what's inside of them. The ingredients. I can bring them in the store. So I'm working on that. But right now, you can place orders with me. I'm a personal chef, private chef. I'm an executive chef on my sister's brand and Ice Events and Entertainment. She's like a one-stop shop party for everything, event planner. Everything you need is like right there. And I'm, the executive chef for that. But yeah, you can just place an order with me directly. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you'll see a green tent, the corner of Wheeler and Waller. And so yeah, it's me again stepping outside my comfort zone. I would have never said that, but yeah. So y'all can catch me there between 1 to 6.
Is there another way they can, for people who can't get to you at the Green Tent, can they reach you in any type of online way or number or something? Yeah.
Yep. So if you're 420 friendly like me, so no, you can follow me at Sleepy Snacks. The snacks is spelled with SNAXX. And for everything else, catering needs, personal chef, whatever, it's going to be Love in the Kitchen 2022. It was the name of my business, but then I switched it because I started a blog. I actually have a blog that I've started, Love in the Kitchen. And so that's my way of taking everything, me being able to talk to people, me being able to cook. So that's, and a cooking show. I got a cooking show on YouTube, Love in the Kitchen 2022. And that I just started. And all these things, I'm telling you, man, God is placing all these things, and I've been consistent. That's been my downfall too. Not being consistent, not being consistent. And I'm being consistent this go. Even when I don't feel like it, I make sure I do something, and it's been working for me. So, yeah, Love in the Kitchen 2022 is my IG for everything else, and it's Sleepy Snacks. And I can do a number?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Man, you better run all 5 of them businesses too.
That's Snacks, SNAXX, to 202-681-8558. And habla español, 202, so no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
People would have done like the commercial when they say the Spanish right behind the English part.
Right.
Yo, look, you need to add a comedian chef on the side.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. That's so beautiful.
Repeat the number for everybody, Lori.
202-681-8558.
Okay.
Oh yeah, real quick. I'm sorry, AJ. It was something I wanted to mention as far as what I do know about you. Man, your beats. Man,
I've been actually to holler at you about that, bro.
Man, his beats. When I first was listening to him, that's after the Cypher and everything, and I was able to find your projects online. It was me, my sister, Miss 257. I think she was out there too. We was all down at Anacostia.
Yeah.
And even Miss 257 was like, who is the one? And I had to tell her who you were. I think, matter of fact, we all followed you. Well, I was already following you. Everybody followed you that day.
Yes.
But,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank
I love your music. I definitely want to hop on a track. I got to go through them again to see which one. It's probably all of them. But yeah, I like how always was looking for, and I know Peoplez can do it, and Peoplez sent me so many beats over the years, and I already apologized to him about this, but just me not being inconsistent, me self-sabotaging, and just, doing what I used to do, because we ain't doing that no more. Right. But I would love to get a chance to,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. You know what I'm saying? When it's time, it's gonna form like Voltron, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. AJ, talk to us, man. What we looking like over there? Any other comments you want to share before we
Oh yeah, we got plenty more comments. You know what I'm saying? We was rolling once again. So let me roll it back a little bit. Let me see. I want to make sure I get a lot of these quality comments that we got while we was rapping. Going back to Miss 257, she said them bomb chocolate chip cookies, and said y'all better get hip about graceful cooking. And then OG the Queen, she was like, you was putting that love in it, sis. And then she said, so should I book a trip out there, or you want my P.O. box?
I ship cookies. I learned how to ship now, so I can ship them cookies to you, girl.
And then Miss 257, she also said, Lori has put in the work indeed and continues perfecting her craft. Trust she never disappoints y'all. You know what I'm saying? And then,
thank you.
And then there was quite a few other comments. Let's see. OG the Queen, she also said, God's chosen and divine are always prophetic. Then Miss 257 said, God trusts you and he will continue to enlarge your territory. Just trust himself. Just trust him, sis. Yeah. And then OG the Queen also said, just highly intuitive, I believe, sis. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all follow me so I can stay connected with OG the Queen. I want to stay connected.
Oh yeah, OG the Queen is good, great peoples right there. You know what I'm saying?
She good folks, man. She support me so much.
I appreciate
so much love. Absolutely. She said, dang, y'all teasing me right now. I want to visit DC. I love the history. Hey, come on over. You know what I'm saying? Come see us. Yes, absolutely. And then she's showing love for what you said. If I reach one, my job is done.
Yes, man.
And that's facts right there. That's facts right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the comments. We had a lot of comments, but you know what I'm saying, those are like the highlights right there.
I dog this one.
So real quick. So do you think this would be a good time before we ride out? You know what I'm saying, for the night? Can we drop the snippet of the week, AJ? You know what I'm saying? Swing back around just to the whole point of that, all the blends and flavors, the go-go, the hip hop, the reggae. Give him a little quick snippet of that muscle crank real quick.
Oh yeah. Let me pull that joint up real quick. Good old muscle crank.
Yeah. Also, before we drop this snippet, rewind selector of this muscle crank, y'all be stay tuned because we got that promo for the R2BB Part 2 Act 2 out. Already floating around. Shout out to U Street TV, my man Los, and Collective Conscious Media. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna be dropping the official Part 2 of the R2BB Cypher Jam this Sunday.
Hey.
This Sunday we dropping Part 2, y'all. And then about a week or so after that, we about to go ahead and swift bang it out with Part 3. You know what I mean?
Man. Y'all think they ready for all that? They ready for all that?
Yeah, man.
I had to get ready.
No, we need all that.
Might as well get ready because it's more heat coming. You hear me?
More fire.
More fire.
As KK would say, more fire.
Yep. Check it out real quick. We're going to let y'all get a little quick snippet of the next single we got coming out. Trapping while we rapping, talking about it. One time, the Muscle Crank featuring Uptown Shane, Cash Aminos, and a homie Reese the Realist. Dang, fire bars. We're gonna slide a little bit of that. Muscle Crank, Glory Trapping.
I'm playing chess, not checkers. Look at what life is measured. Keep it like a couple of bags of better. Putting myself in position to get it. On this pivot, man, I know I'm a menace. Man, I focus, you just give me a minute. Steady pacing, man, I am not racing, yeah. What's the chase? It's the person I chase. When I wake up, I get to the paper. When I get to the trap, and I did. Yeah, ain't no waiting, man, I ain't debating. And it's something to say, and I'm saying it. She got my hits in the playlist. I'm cooking up, this is a made dish. I get what I want on a first time basis. When I pop out, I made the layers. Yeah, stack it up full life savings. And to be honest, I got to it lately. She be gigging, she got a crazy.
Let's stand strong, we're us, we're transform, no life, them breathe on the lane. Down on the wicked of life, well up, our shit, living on, we shine like ours.
That's it?
Nah, that ain't the whole song. Yeah, nah, we ain't gonna play the whole thing.
No. I'm sorry, they shooting.
Hold up, what happened?
Get down, something. Yeah, I'm fine. So that's a natural reaction, you know. When I hear that, you know, let me get off this chair. That sounded close too.
Listen, watch this. We gonna shift gears for a second. We speak prayers of protection and healing. The power of the Most High that has the ability to stretch angels across your doorstep and everyone around you. No harm will come to your household or your neighborhood. The shots that were fired, angels will catch them with their hands. Ain't nobody dying tonight.
Yes.
Ain't nobody going to jail.
Yes.
The Negroes that fired off the guns, they will feel pricked in their heart for whatever reason. It'll be unaware to them to know that there's something else that they have purpose for.
Yes.
The power of the Most High in this particular time and place, this region, and in this season is about to turn this town upside down. The Bible is coming. You hear me? In the streets, wisdom is calling out.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Peace. Peace. Be still. God got you. And this is another reason, by the way, why we on here doing what we doing. Because the youngers need something else to look at, for them to look up to, for them to reach out for them to understand what it is that's out here beyond them killing each other. They need hope and love, y'all.
Yeah, that's what they need.
That's right.
The only thing that compels a man to take another, or a woman to take another human being's life is fear.
Right.
And so love overcomes fear.
Yeah.
Love, power, and a sound mind. Sound meaning solid, unbreakable. Unmovable, unshakable, abounding in love is actually what the passage says. Only the unshakable things remain. On that note, I'm going to say goodnight to y'all. Return to Black Broadway. I'm main man, AJ Throwback, and yours truly, Great Gideon Peoplez.
Miss Lori Love, y'all.
Yes, indeed. And we had a ball.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Even in the midst of something like what just happened, victory is ours. All we got to do is believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because after that, all that you just, the verse of have no fear just came. That's all I'm hearing now is, you know, the whole have no fear, like have no fear. That's a natural reaction. And I got a lot better with that, but I think because it was so close, like it's literally sounded like it was right here in my court. You know, so that's, you know.
That's just your humanity. That's it. Ain't nothing abnormal. I guarantee you, if any of us was sitting in whatever living room and we felt something that close, we all ducking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
done
yeah.
been in gunfire before. I'm good with not ducking if I think something going on. You ain't got to apologize for that. Ain't nobody looking at you like you soft, like, oh dang, she ducking.
Nah, yeah, I ain't worried about that.
We been there.
You know, we was on the up and up, and I ain't, you know.
Nah, you good. You know what it is? This is a perfect moment. This was a perfect moment in the midst of chaos, in the midst of storm, in the midst of triumph. You build an altar for the Most High.
Yes.
That's the only thing what you do for God will last.
That's right. Absolutely. Amen.
So yeah, we're gonna catch y'all next time.
Yes,
Thank you again, Lord Love. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
thank
indeed.
y'all, thank y'all so much.
Yes, indeed. It was
Appreciate
amazing.
you.
And thank y'all to everybody who came in, who stuck around and engaged in everything. Y'all don't know how nervous I was. And I told my brothers I was, but they, especially AJ, reassured me, we family. And you're right, you know, we family. And this was fun. Like, I feel like I can do this again.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? This ain't got to be the last time.
Right. Yeah. We can listen, girl. We can circle back around and do a part 2. Look, we famous for part 2 and 3 and 4.
Right, exactly. this brother know.
Yep. So yeah, man. Much love to everybody. Like she said again, who just showed so much love. We just getting warmed up, y'all. Next week, I'm also excited to celebrate. I got my fellow Southeast Trinity brethren, Jason, coming on the show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, we done had A.K. We done had Lori Love. It's Lori Love. We're gonna have Jason for y'all next. Also, plenty more snippets. Also, peep the promo. Also, please make sure if you haven't already, like, share, love, subscribe to our channel, Return to Black Broadway, and smash that bell so you can get the notifications every time we go live. You dig? Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Can you dig it? All right.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, look, we showing our age now, y'all. But yeah, this has been a great time. We'll catch y'all right back again next Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Return to Black Broadway podcast show. We out.
Peace.